Good afternoon, travelers. This is going to be an open reading using my new Ettiella deck, okay? I think I did an Ettiella reading once before, but it was with a different deck of cards. I don't particularly like that deck. This deck is really true to the Ettiella style of card reading. And Ettiella is known in some circles as the father of the modern day tarot card spread, okay, or style of reading. And I mentioned I have a section on him in my tarot class. But this is what I want to say to you about this particular reading and this deck. This is kind of like a maverick deck, and what I mean by that is it just kind of throws out whatever the story is. And it is the methodology of reading the cards that is a bit complicated, okay? And so I will need to refer to my manual. Y'all know I always got a manual. I do my research first before I try to present a new deck to you. And I researched this deck for like 2 years before I purchased it, this particular deck anyway. And so it's a rather complicated methodology in terms of reading it. Now, in saying that, this reading is not going to be for any particular sign. Therefore, it may not resonate with you, the story. This is just simply something that I want to do to open up for somebody. It could be spot on. I don't know. So by the same token, even if you don't recognize the story, do not dismiss it out of hand. And the reason why I say that is because it may not reflect what is going on in your life at the very moment, but it could be warning you about something that's coming up in the future. And that is the way the tarot works. It does not work on the third dimensional linear timeline that we as humans are comfortable with. It is able to tap into things and bring forth information. And so don't dismiss the message out of hand. Just listen. You know, you may be like, no, that doesn't apply. And if it doesn't apply, then okay. Maybe the next one I do will apply to you. But for some of you, you know, it may sound vaguely familiar, so pay attention. For some of you, it could be spot on. There is no timing in the tarot. This is for sure. And so it is a 14 card spread with 12 cards being the main reading, and then the last 2 cards are kind of like the summary of the spread. All right. And so I've already done some meditation and shuffling, just asking the cards to tell us the story. I will, as I say, have to refer to my book, my manual that I created. And so that's that. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around. I'm going to have to try to read it from the side because I want to make sure that you get an opportunity to see all of the cards. Okay. So here we go. Try to pull it back as far as I can without knocking it off the table. Here we go. I'm going to give it one more shuffle and one more rifle. We are coming up, I think, on, I don't know if it's a new moon or a full moon. I'm not exactly sure. So this could be something that's triggered by that. Let me check right quick to see for you guys where we are in the grand scheme of things. We're coming up on a Capricorn full moon on 13 July, which is a Wednesday of next week. Okay, so this could be something that might be triggered for you by the full moon. Therefore, if this is the case, we always try to ask you to wait to make decisions 3 days before to 3 days after the full moon. Full moons are highly emotional. Okay, here we go. The Robed Man. A woman. Doesn't tell me who she is. Some kind of business enterprise or scheme. Nobility. Either a note or a bill coming in. Okay. Some kind of letter or bill coming in. So here you are. So there's somebody who's in this particular reading, okay? And if this is the story, you are in it. Losses. A woman of the world. A brunette girl. The countryside. Military has come out. Military card. Let me slide these over. Victory. And then my last two cards, the summary. Effects. And suspicion. Now, the cards are read. I don't know if you can see everything, so let me try to best I can. Okay, the cards are read from right to left. Repeater numbers and repeater people are important. And what we start with is a robed man. Now, a robed man can be a judge or a lawyer or someone who might have to do with the law. We have a woman here. And there's some kind of business or scheme, perhaps either between these two or concerning these two people. Now, nobility is an interesting card because it speaks to someone being of good birth. And I would say that it might be perhaps this woman. Okay, or that she comes from a good, well, let me back up. Nobility is just that, someone who's coming from perhaps a good family, but there's some kind of note or message here, okay, concerning perhaps you, and it is about losses from this woman of the world. There is a young girl here. Might be, it says brunette girl. Could be just simply a dark-haired girl. The countryside is involved. So I don't know if this is maybe someone on vacation. Or perhaps maybe being, on vacation or on a visit. The military and a victory. Effects are speaking to your personal things that you have. And there's some suspicion here. We have this card of Mars. Now, let me go back and see if there's anything else that I need to take a look at. Okay. As we move to this side of the reading, what I'm looking at is whatever this enterprise is here. There's a grudge. And it involves someone's stepfather. There's a note. And it involves someone's stepfather. And it is bad. Whatever this thing is, it is bad. This is why we have the losses here, or the element of fire. And the term inhumanity comes up, and what that means is it is something like just human nature. Okay, it is just human nature, but it is born out of greed here with this woman, this woman of the world. Now, art could be artsman or craftsman. I'm not exactly sure if this brunette girl, what that has to do with it. But there's also money involved here. Wealth and pride and curiosity. But there's been some indiscretion here, and this is what makes it so, the suspicion coming across. Because what we're looking at is, we are looking at something to do with adultery, weakness, despair, and learning. There's something waiting for you here. Now, 2 queens speak to friendships. Okay, I have 2 aces reversed, so there's an enemy here. There's an enemy in this. But that's my 2 aces speak to an enemy. But also there's a deception here, based upon someone's, what is the term? Libertinism. Well, it's kind of an open word. It's hard for me to bring it about. But definitely there's an enemy. And there's definitely a deception here. There's some suspicion of being deceived. Okay. Now I have 2 8s and 3 9s. 2 8s. Let me get to my, and are they reversed or not? The 2 8s are not reversed. One second. Okay, so the 2 8s talk about some new knowledge. And whatever the knowledge is, it's good. At least that's the feeling behind it, that you've learned something. This is where the wisdom is coming out. Okay, you learned something. The 3 9s, 1, 2, 3. Say that there's a great success. And it, I think, has to do with this enterprise here. It is the nobility card that is throwing me, because that speaks to someone of good birth. Let me see here. It speaks to money. Right. Plenty of money. So this tells me that someone has either made a lot of money with some kind of enterprise that they have, but then what we see happening here, there's a note. Hold on. It is the Ace of Diamonds. It's a letter, but it is reversed. It's a bulletin or a letter. Something written or received from one's either stepfather, okay? But because these 2 cards are meeting, it's bad news, is what it is. Because over here we see some kind of loss. We see it here. But it is a loss based out of what's the word? Greed. We're looking at, and I don't know if it's a loss based on adultery. Maybe that's what the deception is about. Here with the this person is a new acquaintance. That's what it says. It is someone of a new acquaintance. So I have my 2 8s. Yes, it is a new acquaintance. That's what it says. And I don't know if the new acquaintance is this woman of the world, but I would not trust her, is what I'm going to say. I would have my suspicions, let me put it that way, if the person is, yes, I would have my suspicions about this person because it's a new acquaintance. And it is someone perhaps that you meet in the countryside. Okay? But they come with this story of inhumanity, being an adulteress, weakness. There's some knowledge here waiting on you and despair. Okay? And so I feel that you're going to get this new information about these indiscretions. But it's going to bring up some kind of suspicion. There is literally an enemy. And I think it's telling me that this person is an enemy. Typically, the Jack of Diamonds says a person is a domestic, or at least may have been associated with the military. I don't know what the military may have to do with that. And there's some pride here involved. What is that word? And curiosity. I will say, this is you. Whenever the carte blanche comes up, this is basically you. And so what this tells me is, I don't know if this is you here in the front, and it's speaking about you and this particular man, or this deal that you're going on, money that you have on, but then you get some kind of news that alters the whole situation. Okay? And it alters the situation. It also brings losses. But this woman of the world individual, okay, can typically be someone who has kind of lived life in a questionable manner. There's greed and drunkenness and adultery with this person. And it's definitely going to be a new acquaintance. So I don't know if this is someone who's going to be arriving to your house in the future, or is on their way to your house. Okay, or to wherever you are in the countryside here. Okay, maybe the person has some association with the military. Okay. It is this victory card that kind of stands out for me. Because victory means, like winning, like overcoming whatever obstacle. And so again, I would caution you or urge you that if someone new comes into your midst, some new type of acquaintance, that you are to be careful. The person comes with a lot of question marks. Let me put it that way. And definitely ingratitude for any assistance that you may be able to grant them. So do be on the lookout, be on the watch out for this person. Okay? That is the maverick nature of that particular reading, what I'm talking about. There's usually always one or two things that don't quite make, not necessarily quite make sense, but that I'm not quite able to give you that interpretation for. For me, it is the card of victory that stands out. Is it a military victory? I don't know. Victory simply implies the ability to overcome obstacles or to win at something. There's definitely an enemy in this. This person, like I said, could be an enemy to these two individuals over here. It may have to do with money, with birth, with social status. It is also there's a grudge here. And I don't necessarily see that these three people are related to each other. But there's definitely a grudge here. has to do with someone's stepfather. Whatever this thing is, it's bad. It ain't good, it's bad. And it's going to bring trouble. This is what I'm trying to say. The adulterer and the indiscretion cards is what pique my interest about this thing, because it's definitely telling you that this particular female, this woman of the world, is someone you want to keep your eye out for. The Ettiella doesn't necessarily describe the person as an air sign or as a dark-haired individual. That very well could be so. And so, you know, it's more of a character identification than it is a physical identification, okay? And so, you know, beware. And so that is what I have for you. I do hope this message helps. And until next time, be well, stay safe, and namaste.